In our last video, we learned how to use the ranking functions whose purpose was to provide a variety of ways to rank the rows that are returned by our result set. In this video, we're going to begin learning how to design a database. It is very important to understand how to design a database because if you plan to become a database engineer someday, or even just a database analyst or a database administrator, it is important to know all the ins and outs of a database structure. So there's going to be a lot of information in this video that is important to understand. So let's get to it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the SQL Server Series. This video is brought to you in reference to Joe Marach's SQL Server 2016 for developers. If you're interested in purchasing a copy of this book, then please follow the link in the video description below. While you're designing a data structure, each table that you create in your database represents a single object or entity in the real-world system you are referencing. Let's say you are designing a database for a new video game where all new players' names have to be stored in a single table. Well, you could name that table players or customers, and then have columns inside that table called first name, last name, and telephone number to store the player's information. And these columns would be attributes or instances of that entity. So let's take a look at the 6 basic steps for designing a data structure. Here we have a figure of a database system that is modeled after a real-world system. The real-world system consists of people, documents, facilities, and other systems. This has taken all the information from the real-world system and stored it within a database. The first step is to identify the data elements. The second step is to subdivide each element into its smallest useful components. Step 3 is to identify the tables and assign columns. Step 4 is to identify the primary and foreign keys. Step 5 is to review whether the data structure is normalized. And step 6 is to identify the indexes. So we're going to need to fully understand how to perform all 6 steps here in order to design a data structure the right way. Let's talk about the first step on how to identify the data elements. There are several techniques that can be used to do that. One is analyzing an existing system if there is one, evaluating comparable systems, and interviewing anyone who will be using the system. Let's say one of the people we interviewed provided us with a document to retrieve vendor and invoice information as data elements for our data structure. Well, here on our document, as you can see here, we have our vendor name as Acme Fabrication Inc. We have our vendor address as 1234 West Industrial Way, East Los Angeles, California, 90022. We even have our vendor phone number, 800-555-1212. Our vendor fax number as 562-555-1213. And then you can see over here, we also have our invoice number, I01-1088, an invoice date of 06/05/12, and they even gave us a terms ID of net 30. So you can see there are various amount of data elements that have been identified on the invoice document that can be used here for our step 1 in creating a data structure. And so this document is very helpful for us, and it helped us accomplish our first step. So that is all for this video. In our next video, we're going to move on to step 2 and 3 on how to subdivide the data elements and how to identify the tables and assign columns. So if you're interested in the next video, head on over to database-tutorials.com and check it out. See you next time.